Okay, hello everybody. This is a quick video to quickly run through how to make our poster with our LightSabre file. So we need Fusion open, and we need Photoshop open, and you need to find the LightSabre poster in the class SharePoint. There's a link to the SharePoint on Nexus. Alright, so ultimately what we want with our rendered image in our poster is an effective angle where we can see the most interesting details of the LightSabre. You want to create a glowing effect for the blade of the LightSabre with a little reflection so that you can actually tell that it's glowing. And then you want to have like a drop shadow or some sort of effect below the LightSabre so it gives a little bit of a 3D effect. Here are some examples. So I've got a rough metal material here. I realized after I made this one that if I look at the text up here, it's very difficult to read the dark yellow against the dark yellow, difficult to read, so I probably wouldn't have used that one. So here's another one. See the design, the text is much easier to pops much more. Anyway, that looks better. If you use a fully reflective surface, you can get 2 views of your LightSabre in one. Alright, so that's the kind of thing we want to go for. Alrighty, effective angle, cool lighting effect on the blade, and some sort of 3-dimensional effect. Alright, so if we go to Fusion, our design is completely done. Our materials are in the correct spot. And if we expand the bodies window in Fusion, you've got a pipe body, PVC pipe reference. Right, that is just there so that you can tell how big your LightSabre is in comparison to the pipe you'll put in it. But anyway, so we want to turn this into our glowing blade effect. Alrighty, first problem is if you click on the body, it's way down into the center of the LightSabre handle. If you leave it there and it glows, when you make a render, it will sort of, you'll see little bits glowing through the materials. So that's no good. So you click, move, and you're going to move this up just to where the blade should start on the LightSabre. All right, looks good. Next little thing I find that you have to do is extend the blade, or else you get a funky effect when it comes to rendering. Sometimes it looks really short. So I'm just going to use extrude, tap on the top ring of the pipe and type 333. Right? I do not want the operation to say join at this time. If I leave it on join, all of the bodies will be joined together. All of the materials on the LightSabre handle will be removed. So I want to go new body. Alright, so I've got like a pipe and a pipe. And from my top menu, I'm going to click modify, combine, and then click this and this. Okay, so what I've done is created body 18. I don't know what your body will be called. It's normally down here. Alright, here's body 18. I might rename that blade. Okay. Alright, so that is one long blade file, or one long blade body. A for appearance. What you want to find, what material you want to find is this. You want to click on miscellaneous. You want to scroll down and find emissive. And in emissive, you want to find one of these 3 LED materials. If there's a little arrow here, tap the little arrow to download the material. Doesn't matter which color you choose now because you can change that later on. But what you do, drag a material onto the blade. Click. Oh, we're not going to click close just yet. We're going to come up and we're going to find LED green or whatever. Right click again and edit. Alright, here's your edit menu. You can't change the color here, but what you can do is click advanced, expand emissivity, and what you want to do, luminance, you want to move that to somewhere in the middle. Right? And here's the point where you can change the color to whatever you think's coolest. Maybe I'll go a yellow lightsaber for this one. All right, cool. So you can't tell that this color because it's glowing so bright it looks white, but you've applied the color and you've made it glow. And what I'm gonna do, if I go to render, this is what it looks like right now. So the lightsaber's standing on its base, which I think looks a bit funny. So I'm gonna come back to design. I'm gonna hold shift and select all of the bodies, right click, and then I'm gonna rotate my lightsaber so it's on an angle. All right, cool. So that's good. Now, what we need to do is basically create a surface that the lightsaber can be reflected off. So click default, come over and create a sketch, and click the ground plane. And basically what you want to do is just make a massive surface behind the lightsaber. So just get the square, drag down, click finish sketch, press E -3 or whatever, doesn't really matter. Make sure it says new body. And I'm going to call that ground. All right, the thing to be aware of here is if the ground is in the lightsaber, drag it down. You don't want it to be super close. You want it to have like a little bit of a gap. So that's kind of like what I mean. If it's there, too close, drag it down a little bit. Click return. All right, awesome. Here, this is like your stage that you're going to reflect your lightsaber on. Go to render now. Okay. You got a weird setup like this. You might not have a background color, but that's okay. What we want to do is change our setup now for our render so that it will fit on the poster. Click scene settings. I'm going to come down and click on default or restore default. What I want to do is move my focal length. I don't want a weird distorted image. I want it to be all the way to the right hand side. I'm going to come down and I'm going to click aspect ratio now. So aspect ratio is how long and wide your picture is, and the width and the height will be basically an A4 document. So 210 by 297, so that's an A4 page size. And then the last little thing you could possibly change is your brightness. I'm going to go 2043, excuse me, 2043, just so it's a little brighter. Right, now you zoom in, get an effective angle. I find the easiest way to move my design is if I click my view cube and click the gray part, I can get I get more control over how it's twisted. Alrighty, zoom in again. We want to show off the best details. Alright, good. Now, I'm going to click render. These are the settings I want for my final render. 2500 by 1768. JPEG. If you're in cloud render, it's going to take ages. All right, JPEG 2500 height, 1768 width. So that's what my final render will be. But I do not want to render at that resolution right now because this will take a few minutes. If you've got a MacBook Air, it can take like 20 minutes to get your best possible render. So I'm going to change those settings, and I want to make sure the little lock is selected, I want to change it to something really low. So 500 by 300. So that's a tiny resolution, and click render. All right, and the whole idea, what I'm doing is just creating a preview of what my design will look like. So I might want to change my angle. I might want to change my background setting, my background materials. I might want to change how bright I've selected it in scene settings. So I'm gonna do it really low, just so I can see if it looks cool. Then I'm gonna click. All right, not too bad, kind of cool. I like the blade looks good. Maybe I'll go like this. Press A for appearance. And maybe I'll find a different background material. Oops, maybe I click metal, aluminium. A yellow blade on a blue background might look cool, so I'll drag that material there. Okay, make sure I've got a good angle still. Render. All right, so just experimenting, seeing what looks good. You probably won't get it the first go. All right, and the whole point with the render size and things like that, this is an A4 document, right? If you put a very low rendered image in here, when we print it, your LightSabre will be pixelated. Like when you zoom in, you won't have nice crisp edges and crisp details. You'll have weird pixelated, blurry image. So, yeah. All right, let's have a look. Yeah, so even though that looks blurry, when it's rendered properly, it won't look blurry. But anyway, I like that. I like the background. I like the colors. So I think that looks cool. So I'll go back up to render. Make sure this is selected. Height, 2,500, whatever. Width, I think that's changed, but who cares? It's close to it enough, and I'll click render. Alrighty, that is going to take a long time to render, a few minutes. So I'll come over here and I'll find one that I've already made. So I'll click on this one. Okay, I like that render. So I've rendered this earlier. It's high resolution. Download. To get to this menu, where you can see the image, you just tap on the image. All right, come back to the poster template. Put your cursor on layer 0 and go File, Place, Linked. Find the file you just made, and you're gonna drag the edges of the image so that it fits, and click return. All right, you put your poster in place. That looks cool. The next thing you're gonna do is find this tool, the T tool, where it says your name goes here. You're gonna write your name. Okay, and that's your poster complete. That's all the Photoshop stuff you need to do once you've got your render. Then go File. Oops, I'll get out of that real quick. File, Export, quick export as PNG, and call it whatever you want, and save it as a PNG, and you've got your poster complete. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Let's have a look at my render. So yeah, still going. I think I've got very bad Wi-Fi, so it's going to take a long time. So yeah, your render, it is very important to get a high resolution one. So because you really want to show off your LightSabre in the best possible way. So you've got to get that high resolution render, but you've got to be patient. So maybe once you do your small little previews and you like what you see, click render, go away, have a drink, come back, and you should be good. Righty, that's how we make our poster.